Today we're going to talk about the truth. What is the truth? The truth is what actually happened, the facts, what is. It is objective. It cannot be refuted or disputed. Most people agree on what the truth is. The truth stands on its own, needs no qualification. It just is what it is. Now, what is your truth? Your truth is knowing, your first mind, gut feelings, intuition, what you believe or think is true, the way you see or interpret things, your views, your perceptions, your experiences, interactions, your education. Most people will call your truth questionable or even subjective. However, all those factors influence your truth, but the facts still remain. People can have their opinions or their take on the truth, but none of that would change the facts on the ground. Now, within the truth or the facts, there can be certain actions, occurrences, intentions, reasons, or circumstances for the way things happened the way that they did. So there can be some subjectivity while still dealing with the actual facts. A classic case of this is when a person gets convicted of a crime when all the evidence is circumstantial. There's no smoking gun, right? Every witness told the same or similar stories. Every witness saw the same car with the perpetrator's license plate. Everyone heard the gunshots at the same time. Everybody heard the perpetrator tell the victim that he would kill him. Traffic cameras put the perp in the vicinity, but no one saw him shoot the victim. Nobody seeing the actual shooting changes any of the facts or circumstances on the ground. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. Now, there are some people that will try to skew your view or the facts, blur the lines, gaslight you, or manipulate the situation, piss on you and tell you it's raining, tell you that one and one can be three, somehow change reality. But realists like myself can't be easily swayed by these, in my opinion, deviant, manipulative, immoral behaviors, which are all low vibrational. Because we all know that you can spin the narrative all you want until the shit gets real. A perfect example of this is y'all know it, Diddy. I've been around long enough to know that Diddy was being accused of all of those heinous and devious acts of theft, violence, and abuse for the past 30 years, and it appeared that he got away with it. His behavior was arrogant, as if he knew that he could not be caught or go to jail. He gaslit the public. He accused others of doing things that he did. He played the victim. He made veiled threats. He humiliated people, and so on and so forth. But then shit got real. Somebody dropped a tape of him abusing the woman in the hotel. Now, the tape is the truth. It was authenticated, period. But there were many people spinning the truth as if his actions could be somehow justified by putting forward alternative motives to suggest that his actions were somehow not what we think they were, because maybe A, B, C, or D happened. For example, many people started to say that he chased the woman and beat her because she stole from him. Some said that she was beating him and abusing him. We all know it was only because she wanted his money. These are alternative motives. These skew the facts. These confuse listeners. Moreover, Diddy's trial did unearth many facts, instances, and situations that prove the actions that he had been accused of were true, regardless of what he was actually indicted for, charged with, and ultimately convicted of. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but he didn't get convicted of all the charges or everything he was accused of. But that does not mean that he isn't or wasn't guilty. The question then becomes, why wouldn't they charge him? Or who else higher up is being protected? This issue has been dissected thoroughly and masterfully by many other content creators. Therefore, I won't be addressing that. The purpose of this conversation is for you to be able to discern the truth using facts and all known information without anyone telling you what the truth actually is. One can argue that the purpose of exposing Diddy was to get the truth out to the public so that his madness will stop. However, My discernment allows me to see the scenario from a totally different perspective. In my opinion, the Diddy debacle was an insidious way of mass media testing the public to gauge their awareness and reactions to when the real story regarding the release of certain files and high profile people involved in horrific acts against children broke. Y'all know what it is. So, having said all of that, what are we witnessing? A portion of the files have been released. One narrative is that all of the files can't be released because they are protecting the victims. Another narrative is that releasing the files and naming certain people in those files will create new victims as people will believe they are the abusers. Duh. Why else wouldn't they want the files to be publicized? We had the there are no files, nothing to see here narrative. Then the everybody knows the main character in the files was a creep and dead and gone, so stop talking about it narrative. The information is fake and fraudulent narrative. And of course, the witch hunt. And I was set up 20 years ago for today narrative. The foolish narrative and reasons why the truth is a lie or why the truth just can't be revealed are endless, which is at the very heart of why you should be able to discern and know the truth and your truth. But what is disturbing is the level of mind control against the population. It is diabolical, evil, and insidious. It is evil and insidious because by spinning multiple narratives alongside the truth, it creates doubts and confusion in people's minds. It keeps them divided and bickering amongst themselves about what's true, what's not true, your truth versus their truth, this party or that party, which leads to people being disillusioned and, in many cases, mass cognitive dissonance with the public on a staggering level, which is abuse in and of itself. Now, how can people raise their vibrations and become aligned in this state of consciousness? They can't, which is their goal. Low vibrational people cannot always discern truth from fiction. It is our responsibility to know the truth and our truth if we want to see change from this madness. Now, that's my truth. So, to recap, why is the truth and your truth important? Because knowing truths increase your awareness and discernment, which leads to alignment. And when you're aligned, you rise. Now, I would like to hear what you have to say in the comments regarding truths. But remember, your truth is important, but it doesn't trump the truth. Pun intended. If you enjoy this content, please like, hype, share, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you.